Hello everyone, welcome to The One. My name is George and this is my drone pilot channel, created just for people like you who'd like to get the most out of their drones, whether this be as a hobby or a small business. It probably doesn't really matter where you are. There might be places you'd like to fly your drone but can't. Some of those may even be perfectly safe and legal, but authorities still tend to sneak up on you, whether they're the kind that is often referred to as a Karen or actual police officers who would rather bother you than address the more serious issues surrounding them. Anyone who lives in the city knows that it can be intimidating to operate a drone in public. I'm not sure of the rules in all countries, but unless you're flying a sub 250 gram drone, you may have quite a few restrictions on where you can even fly. Here in Canada, you have 2 levels of licensing and drone classifications that limit where you can fly. Add to that local bylaws, and there are suddenly a lot of places where it's not even really clear if flying is legal. In this video, I'm going to share my experience with flying my drone in the city of Edmonton, Alberta, and what I do if I'd like to fly in a place that might be a bit iffy. I'm sure you know that feeling when you have a plan of where you'd like to get that perfect shot at the right time and you've decided to go ahead with it. Then last minute you start to second guess it. There might be people circulating nearby and someone might approach you and question what you're doing and whether it's allowed. That could not only lead to a wasted flight, but even a close call. Or worse, depending on who shows up. I know that feeling all too well. For the longest time, I used to fly my drone only on the riverbank, as it's a sort of loophole around the city bylaw here. You can launch a drone from a park or city property, but the permitting process is quite cumbersome, involving documentation such as a detailed flight plan, proof of insurance, and more. The approval is not instant neither, nor is it guaranteed. Thankfully, there are plenty of places to launch a drone from that are not city jurisdiction. Private property is fair game. It does not have to be your property. Of course, you generally need permission to fly from the property owner, but quite often they're hard to get a hold of. What about a commercial parking lot when businesses are closed, or a vacant lot in an industrial park? It can be a royal pain trying to get permission to fly from such places, in part because a lot of people have uninformed opinions about drones and their use. Please understand, I'm not condoning trespassing. And whatever you do, please be well prepared for your flight and follow good safety practices. But here it is. You'll probably get away with a lot, even with flying from a parking lot where you technically couldn't get permission to launch. Fact is that most people don't really care. If it's a wide open place and people park their private vehicles there during business hours, you should be okay to spend 20 minutes controlling your drone as long as you're not bothering anyone or doing anything stupid. I've done it and it hasn't got me arrested. Up to this point, whether you're launching from an area where you have a formal permit or not, here are some tips on how to appear more professional with your drone. It'll make asking someone for permission easier and probably more successful too. It's also the perfect antidote against so-called Karens. When I show up somewhere for a drone shoot where the public might take notice, I often wear an orange safety vest. This will make me more noticeable, but in a good way. I'm not trying to hide my operation. Instead, I'm making sure people know I'm there and I'm doing something important. To take this a step further, I have 4 little orange cones that I set up all around me. It tells passerbys that I'm claiming this space temporarily to enhance the safety of my operation. Most people will get the idea and simply avoid the area. A landing pad will also go a long way to show your preparedness. Here in Canada, we have to register our drones and hold a pilot's license. We are also required to record our flights. A tool that works really well for that is the Drone Pilot Canada app. I have it on my phone and use it to check the airspace around me as well as for temporary flight restrictions and weather conditions. It also has all my documents right inside the app. However, when I had to go for my flight review, which is part of the process you have to go through when shooting for the advanced drone pilot's license, I prepared a whole big binder that contains all my documentation in paper form. There are pre-flight checklists and emergency procedures. All of them are taken right out of the Drone Pilot app, but they look a lot more official in a letter-sized binder. I carry that binder with me when I go flying in the city somewhere. While I'm operating the drone, I place it nearby so anyone can see it. First, it has the Drone Pilot Association of Canada logo on it.
Hey man, that's upside down.
There's also a very clear message on the front page, visible at a glance. It says, "I am flying my drone in full compliance with Canadian aviation regulations. My drone is registered with Transport Canada and I hold an appropriate pilot certification issued by Transport Canada." It goes on, but I won't bore you with the complete text. You get the idea. This last message might be the most important one. Please wait until the drone has landed before talking to me. This is for obvious reasons. I typically also prepare a flight plan for the area and have it either on my phone or printed out in my binder. If you have all this, most people will feel reassured that you know what you're doing and it's not something stupidly dangerous. Becoming a good drone pilot is challenging, so it requires you to fly a lot, and sometimes you'll have to do it in the city. The best way to deal with that is to go out well prepared and as confident as you can be, and focus on your mission. Once it's done, pack up and leave. If someone is on site, just go and ask them if it's okay to claim the space and carry out your mission. If they ask what it's for, you show them your flight plan. Sometimes people will say no, regardless of all your preparedness. In that case, just be polite and look for an alternate launch site. There's a link in the description to the Drone Pilot Canada app and the Drone Pilot Association of Canada, where membership is free. Of course, this won't help you in another country, but you can take similar steps to enhance credibility and respect for your mission. I hope this video helps you along on your drone pilot journey wherever you're at. Leave me a comment with your thoughts or if you have additional tips. I'd appreciate if you like and share this video. Maybe you could even become a subscriber to my channel. It's completely free. Today only, just hit that button and ta-da! Watch another video.
Yeah.